Hey guys, welcome back. How's it going? As you can see, we're in the confines of the apartment enjoying a nice cool glass of water. Yeah. You know, it's an interesting thing about water. A lot of people find it dull. It's not exciting. It's not tasty. But you know, there's nothing that really quenches one's thirst quite like water. Now, if you wanted to liven your water up in a healthy way, what I do is slice up some cucumber and a sprig or two of mint, of fresh mint, and just let it float in the water, and it will permeate your water, and it will give a nice little hint of mint with that fresh cucumber taste. Man, wow, that's really nice, actually. You know, of course, nice cold beer on a hot day is not bad, but I usually enjoy that mostly on the weekends. It's darn near the weekend, but, you know, taking it easy on that stuff because, well, it goes right here. I don't want to gain too much weight, and I like to try and enjoy my fashion. But health-wise, you want to have a lot of water, especially on a hot day. And I'll tell you what, boys and girls, it is a hot day out there. Yeah. Because if it wasn't, you know where it would be? Oh yeah, we'd be out there in the old time cave doing our usual thing. But let me show you something here. This will be kind of alarming, and now maybe some of you in the other western states might be experiencing a greater heat wave. But for us, here in Old Monrovia, look at that. Yeah, 109. And that's something. That's a little spicy, isn't it? Yeah, and on Wednesday, since Wednesday, it was about that. It started to be about 109, 110 on Wednesday. And I actually drove out to North Hollywood and to see my friend Max, who is an ace mechanic. He works on a lot of antique cars. That's kind of his specialty. And that's been kind of his career path. And he does a very good job. He has a very firm understanding of antique technology, automotive world type of thing. He owns a beautiful Lincoln. Holy cow. It's a beautiful 26 Lincoln Landau limousine. In fact, he got third place at Pebble Beach not too long ago. So, yeah, great guy, good friend, dear friend, actually. And he says, hey, Rob, you know what? I think you've said something about your rear seals leaking on the Dodge. Let's do them. So I'm like, okay. And I had the parts. Oh, yeah. I had the parts. And so I headed out there, and we got it done, but turned out the inner seals that I had were the incorrect inner seals. They didn't fit very well. So had to pull them out, and I had to find the correct size that afternoon. Thankfully, it was around 12 noon when we discovered this issue, and I made some phone calls and found two. And all I needed was two, but I found two at Quality Bearing over in Azusa. And I don't know if any of them watch my channel. I doubt that they do. But shout out to Quality Bearing in Azusa. You guys are lifesavers, and you are wonderful. And I really appreciate you guys having the part, but also the help and the dedication in finding those parts. They're great people over there, and I'm very grateful for them. Anyways, if you have seal needs or bearing needs and you're in the local Los Angeles or LA County area, definitely file that name away. Quality Bearing in Azusa. Yeah, they're great. They're right off of Gladstone. They're not far from, they're just south of Irwindale. Anyway, so I rushed out there at 1:30 to get these bearings from North Hollywood. Yeah, thankfully my friend lent me his car so I could just run out there and grab them. And I did, and made a few other little quick errands and headed on back. Yeah, and then we got it all buttoned up. But even at, 8 o'clock, it was still 96 degrees after sundown. And it usually does cool down here in California after sundown. It doesn't take too long for it to cool off to a nice, very comfortable, 70 degrees, 65 degrees. No. I ended up leaving his house around 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, 11 o'clock at night, and I finally got home close to 12. And it was 87, 88 degrees near midnight. And that was pretty warm because the Dodge does not have air conditioning. No, thankfully it was at night, so there was no sun bearing down on the car and making it more uncomfortable. But still, it was not fun. That car creates some heat coming through the firewall, when it gets to full operating temperature. And I do have some insulation down, and that's good. But holy crap! Yeah. Anyway, it's hot, and it's going to be hot clear into Tuesday. Yeah. I can't wait for it to get cool. Well, that's enough out of my little catch-up spiel of what's been happening with me. Yesterday I worked. Couldn't do a video yesterday because Monday pushed my work schedule off a day because I don't work on holidays. I can't really work on city holidays like Labor Day, or national holidays for that matter. But anyway, speaking of the city of LA, I've got something to share. So if you go back a few videos to the video about the lanterns of Bonanza, you will see a high-low that I showed that was painted silver. Yeah, I didn't tell much about that particular lantern because, well, it wasn't the point of the video. I wanted to show that lantern painted silver. That's all I wanted to show. But here it is. I had some time. I removed the silver paint, and here it is. Isn't that beautiful? Doesn't that come out really nice? That's a nice example. But here's what makes it special. You see that? You see that right there? LAWW? Yeah. LAWW. Los Angeles Waterworks. And this is a 1928 marked LA Waterwork high-low. Actually, it was the full code is S1128. So November of 1928 came out of the Syracuse plant. And a lot of these, work-related or utility-marked high-lows were made in Syracuse. A lot of them, if not all of the ones I've ever handled were. But for an order of 100 plus, I think, somewhere around 100 or more, then Dietz would offer a contractor or city department the option of putting their department on the lantern. So if it was City of LA, City of Pasadena, whatever, or the utility like LA Waterworks or DW&P or Pasadena Waterworks, you name it, then they could have it embossed either traditionally on the smoke bell or on the fountain. So yeah, this one's on the fountain. And it's interesting because most of the earlier utility marked lanterns I've seen, it's all up here. But Los Angeles says, no, I think we want it on the fountain. It's a lot more noticeable. Because the Dietz is up here, and it's, so you know who made it, but it's LA Waterworks is right down here. A lot nicer. A lot easier to see. That's just cool, right? And that's a nice, real strong stamp. It's not worn down at all. But this was painted silver, and it had no globe, really. I mean, in the video I put a globe in it, just a clear one. But originally it would have had a ruby globe, like this. Or one that was marked LA Waterworks. Definitely would have came with a marked globe. Now I know what you're thinking. You says, well, you have a marked LA Waterworks globe, don't you? Yeah, I do. And I got this lantern from friend and collector, Mr. Spalding, a while ago, because of that lantern that I had with the globe for Los Angeles Waterworks. I thought I was going to take the globe out and put it in this. But when I got the lantern, I saw that the frame was so neat, and I could tell that globe was in that frame for a very long time. It's very possible that frame had that globe very early on, and that the department actually used them together, because all the LA Waterworks lanterns I've ever handled, which are few, were painted black. That's painted black, and that globe has been in that lantern frame for a very, very long time. So I didn't feel that I had the right to remove it and put it in this, because, well, the patina on the globe looks great, and it looks great, and the patina on the lantern looks great. So they match very well, even though the lantern's not marked for the department or the utility. I think I'm going to leave it, and so this will just be a bonus. This will be a bonus, but it's beautiful. It came out great. The paint was kind of hard to get off. Silver's always a pain in the neck. You know this. We've talked about this, but it didn't seem like it was really going to stay on very well. It was a cheap rattle can spray job, and it did fight me quite a bit. But then I realized that the oven cleaner wasn't really doing the job that I expected it to do, or that it has done on other lanterns. But I did pour some acetone, and it did start taking off the remnants of the paint that wasn't coming off. So I should have just dunked this thing in some acetone and have been done with it. Anyway, this thing is a beautiful straight high-low. And, the great thing about the high-low is, I know you see the square tube 275 sitting here. Yeah, I just thought, I keep it in the house. Yeah, I keep it in the house. But here's the deal. Get a striker. We'll light this just for fun. So this is how you light a high-low. People say, well, it doesn't have a lift mechanism. The Monarch has a lift mechanism. How do you light this? Well, you see this little loop down here? And this loop up here? It's called a pinch lift. So you just go like this. See? You let go, it drops. Quick action. Quick action. So watch this. Turn up the wick a little bit. Let's see here. Nope, yeah. So you can hold the lantern in one hand, like this. See? Like that. Hold the lantern with your pointer and your thumb right there. Just lift it. You got your match. And it flies across the room. That's pretty good. I think I'll keep that. Then you light it and drop it. And then you go, and you're off to the races. Then you hang it and off to the next lantern. So yeah, that's what they do. That's the beauty of the high-low lantern. Very easy to use. I love it. It's one of my favorites, as you well know. If you've been around watching this channel for even a couple months, you know that I like the high-low, because that is so cool. That's so easy. You hold it with one hand, you can lift it, light a match, boom, drop it, and you're on to the next lantern, and it's easy. You're not holding it and cranking and finding a lighter and lighting it. No, it can be very fast. I know these are strike anywhere matches, and they can be pretty easy to use. But that's what I like. I like those matches. But anyways, yeah, pretty cool, pretty trick, and it's got some age to it, some darkness to it, and there's some of the high spots got a little cleaner than I probably would have liked, but I think she looks good, and she's got a nice turn plate bottom. Yeah, turn plate. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's plated, and I keep things from rusting. It was a rust preventative material, but it's beautiful. This thing really came out nice, I think. So it'll be a fun one to enjoy. But anyways, guys, I'm going to cut it short this week. Don't have a whole lot to share, except for this little guy. I just finished it. I thought I'd share it. So hope you guys enjoy the continued high-low shares. Just so you know, if you're out and about and you find one of these guys, one of these Dietz high-lows, I wouldn't pay more than, maybe $25, $30, $40 at the most. Now, if they are marked for a utility or a city, then that's a different story. These can fetch $70, $80, maybe even $100, depending on the condition and where it's from and what it represents. So, yeah. always take that into consideration, because they're not that easy to find when they're utility marked, because the utility had to spend extra money, and they were only offered that option, I think, every 120 or maybe 100, lantern order would allow you to be able to order lanterns with that stamped fount or a chimney with your city or utility embossed on it. There is one I'm really looking forward to. I'm trying to find one. I almost bought it. I really kind of made a mistake. I know, me making mistakes, that never happens. Trust me, it does. But it said California Highway Department of Highways. It was all embossed on the smoke bell here. And it was late at night on eBay, and it was a buy it now of $45. And we're best offer. So I'm like, throw a best offer. Offered $25. Somebody bought it before they reviewed my offer, and that was it. So, but it was in really good shape. It looked pretty much like this. It was from the 20s or 30s. And California Department of Highway. That was really cool. I just should have bought it. Just hit the buy it now and been done with it. And I would be sharing it on the channel. But this was several years ago. This was before the pandemic, I think. Maybe it was 2020. But anyway. Oops. Yeah. And if you do find one that is marked for the city of San Bernardino, jump on it. There was one that was on eBay that sold for, I don't know, $300 or $400, maybe a little more than that. It was ridiculous. It soared. It just took right off. But I've not seen one before. I haven't seen another one since. So utility marked lanterns are special because, the ones that survive were probably stolen. They were probably stolen by someone's grandfather, and they were kept in a garage, and then they emerged at yard sales sometimes, or estate sales, and they were just squirreled away in a garage or a basement, and they start coming out of the woodwork sometimes, when the family starts selling off the family stuff. And that's why some of these do exist. And sometimes, the departments would sell them off in bulk or in batches after the era of kerosene. So when in the mid to late 50s, when kerosene wasn't being used on highways anymore, then they were selling them off. And a lot of departments just had auctions and people would buy them, or they were scrapped. So sadly, that did happen. A lot of them were junked, and that's why they're harder to find. That's right. Anyways, Ruby Globe meant warning. So if you saw a barricade out there at a work site and you saw one of these guys hanging there with a Ruby Globe, that meant stay out. That was caution. It was a caution light saying, danger. There's a danger here. You could fall into a pit. You could be hurt if you go beyond that area. So a lot of sellers on the internet like to say, oh, this is a railroad lantern because the globe's red. No, that's not correct. The globe is red as a warning. That's all it is. Now, of course the railroad did use red globes, but they didn't really use high-lows. This is a contractor's lantern for sure. But anyways, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though we're just in the air-conditioned old apartment here. It's just too hot to be outside or even in the garage, even though that's technically not outside, but it has no insulation. And I went out there to grab this lantern to share with you guys, and I almost fainted. It's so hot in there, you could almost bake bread. In fact, I have a bottle, just an empty bottle of, what is it, Old Elk? Yeah, Old Elk whiskey. And a friend of mine brought it over, and over the course of several weeks, we kind of polished it off. And it was sitting there on top of the monitor top, and the heat was so bad yesterday when I was out there getting some stuff last night. It popped the cork. The cork just popped right off and flew into the air and landed on the ground because of the heat and the pressure caused by the heat. It forced the cork right out of the neck of the bottle. So I was like, okay. So yeah, I know it's pretty warm out there, but yeah, stay cool, hang in there, and hope you enjoy this video, and we'll see you next week with another another episode and maybe something new added to the collection. Maybe something new to share. Maybe I do have something I'm trying to procure. So always trying to keep it interesting. That's right. Well, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
Could she wreck any football team? Oh, you have no